Okay, let's move straight to our final conversation. Amid rising food insecurity in the country, there is a raging debate about the relevance of universities of agriculture in contemporary Nigeria. In our weekend special for this week, Babajide Kolade visited the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, in Ogun State to see the contributions of the institution to food production in the country through partnerships and extension services. Let's share the story with you.
For a nation that desires a skilled agricultural workforce and preparation of future farmers and agri-professionals to enable the attainment of food security, Agric universities are almost indispensable. The Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, FUNAB, a specialized institution established by the federal government with the mandate of teaching, promoting research and extension services, is currently keen into extension services and partnerships geared towards boosting food production, thereby complementing the Bola Tinubu administration's efforts in the area of food security. Sitting on about 10,000 hectares in Abeokuta, Ogun State, the university has been able to supply produce in large quantities to Nigerians. Recently, I visited the university to see the strides being made in mechanized farming and food production generally. On this day, the heavens opened up at the Alabata campus of the university. Not mounting the downpour, we moved around different sections of the Agric extension services being offered by the university. At the poultry section, I was taken to the layers units. Here, eggs and chickens are produced in large quantities.
Layers. When do you normally pick the eggs?
In the morning, in the afternoon.
Okay. So there is not one single time.
No, twice
a day.
Twice a day.
Now, what is the major challenge that you face poultry farm?
Just the problem all over. Feed, supply of maize. But locally we are trying to overcome that because we also really plant our own maize. But we are still not able to meet that. But thank God we are able to do that. So we hope to grow to the extent that can meet our entire grain requirement. So we just produce our grain. But when we had a peak of just crisis, we just have to, from the pool of our reserve, we just have to deploy it.
When you're talking about grain,
maize.
You're not talking about maize alone.
Maize, I'm talking about maize.
Maize alone.
Maize.
I see the eggs are quite big because these are fairly old layers. They peg me.
The institution's vice-chancellor assured that the institution will continue to live up to its mandate, leveraging on solid partnerships and the competence of its staff.
Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, is the best university of agriculture in Africa and the 7th best all over the world. That is no mean feat. We didn't ask for it. We didn't lobby for it or anything. But the ranking body, that's the Times Higher Education, they did their own assessment and evaluation, looking at our website, looking at some of our activities. They interrogated all of this without our knowledge. And at the end of the day, they came to the conclusion that no, this is a university that is serious-minded and working towards actualizing their goals. Due to the pronouncements of the president and what the government has been doing, a lot of people are now going into agriculture. And so we reached out to some came, we welcomed them, and as at now I can tell you that we have not less than about 10 or 12 private sector players that we're in partnership with.
I was taken to the boilers units. Here, chickens are produced in large quantities.
So we have 1,000 beds here. This is the border unit. It's a product of partnership, knowing our constraint in terms of budgetary constraints. So what we did is partnership from Lagos. So it now is bringing the money and investor. Bringing the money, we have the facility, and we have an MOU. We'll be producing 1,000 beds every 7 weeks. And the target is 2.5 kilo. This they are the 5th week now.
5th week.
And 7 weeks will be up. So even the weight, some of them 2.7, they are ready. You select, you have good ones.
Bring down. I'm backing you. I want to feel the weight. It's heavy. And it's how many weeks this one?
5 weeks.
And is this heavy?
The university also has a hatchery where eggs are hatched to produce newborns. In the area of research and development, the university, through consistency and hard work of its loyal staff, has been able to develop different breeds of chickens. A notable one among them is what is known as the Funab Alpha.
This one is
It's a fish feather.
Fish feather.
So it was developed by Professor Olufemilayo Ayoka Adibambo. So we have a different genotype of that. We have naked neck, normal feather, and fish feather. So, and after we generate them, so the students are working on it to do their research work. So since then we have the board like this. So and every Wednesday we are collecting our hatchery eggs and take to the hatchery.
We collected them from different zones, different regions of Nigeria, and now develop them. So they are local, but they can compete with the exotic breed in terms of the quantity of meat they produce. If you go to market to buy local, they will not be as big as this one. So this one we are doing this broiler is local. Yes, it's local.
The university is also big in crop farming. Its officials say it has been able to use its produce to bridge the gap between the town and gown, supplying produce to neighboring communities.
What we have from government sources, some internally generated revenue, they are into diverse kinds of production. They are producing cowpea, producing groundnut, producing maize, producing vegetables too on our farm. And one other thing we do is that in this university, yes, we have this production going on. But you see, agriculture is about the value chain. The value chain is talking about production of input, production, processing, and marketing. So we have processing unit on campus. We call it industrial parks unit initially. But what we did was now to consolidate our industrial parks unit into a venture. We call it Funab Integrated Venture.
Rice is usually in high demand in Nigeria, but beans also enjoys tremendous appeal, especially in the southwest where the university is situated. I was taken to the beans farm, and it was such a revealing experience. Next to the beans farm is the pineapple farm. We planted pineapple here. A lot of crop farming going on here. We want to defeat hunger. We want to defeat food insecurity. And FUNAB is playing its own part. Apart from this, the university is also into planting of sweet potatoes, yams, and groundnuts.
It's harvesting time, and it's ongoing.
Plenty of plenty.
No, sorry. And what you're also doing,
So fresh.
coming from this, is what you do, this circular economy. This plant residue is not a waste. We have a forage shopper that we shop all this for our ruminants, for our sheep and goats.
This is raw groundnut. Raw groundnut. This is the carrot farm. There's nothing that they are not planting at Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. Dr. Bankole is here, and he's harvesting the carrot. I can feel the freshness. You know? Let's see. Raise it up, okay? This is carrot. You know, I didn't know that we could actually plant this here. I used to think that all the carrots that we eat come from the north. But you people have really surprised me.
You can do it.
Speaking about the contributions of the university to food supply in the southwest of Nigeria, the Deputy Registrar in charge of Senate and Admission said FUNAB is living up to expectations and requires more partnerships and support from the federal government. He affirms that no student can graduate from the university without having a practical experience at the farm to experiment what he or she had been taught. He also presented to Agric some of the processed and packaged products of the university.
The University of Agriculture Abeokuta is one that integrates the entire value chain of agriculture. So as a result, we embark on so many things. Of course, you have gone round, you have seen quite a number of those things that we do. But by way of courtesy, some of the items that we produce here are purely FUNAB items. For example, one of them is the FUNAB honey, which is from our aviary here in FUNAB. It is produced here, and everything about it is purely FUNAB. This is one of those items, the odorless fufu that we are talking about, that the Vice Chancellor referred to. This is the odorless fufu. This is one of our products, fully from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. Of course, the Vice Chancellor also referred to our palm wine. This is FUNAB palm wine, which if you go to some designated supermarkets and stores in the country, you will find the FUNAB palm wine being sold in those stores. Then we have FUNAB palm oil, natural and very, very good, very healthy, well-processed FUNAB palm oil. Then, of course, our gari is also very good, well-processed, dry gari, better than the one that, of course, better than the one that you will find in the ordinary market. So these are just a few among those products that we have, which are FUNAB products, which we have continued to dish out to the public as products which the society can benefit from.
We then moved to the university's tomato farm, a practical farm where students planted tomatoes in large quantities.
Awarding Rainy Day here at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. I've been with Professor Bankole and his team looking at the bountiful agric potential of not just this institution but our country. We are here in the tomato farm. As you can see, there is tremendous yields across the length and breadth of this tomato farm. And it is really reassuring that our country can do much better in terms of agri production if we fully apply ourselves at all levels to it. The university has done very well in crop production, in animal husbandry, and it can only get better. Babajide Kolaji Otitoju, TVC News, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta.
Wow, beautiful pictures there. Beautiful pictures there. In fact, Biko, you were there. You visited the school.
Yes.
Yes, even though it was Sono, but tell me, what did you find out in all of this?
No, you see, I remember, one of the things that triggered me to do this was the fact that at the peak of high price of tomato, FUNAP came out to say, look, we are harvesting tomatoes, and that people are free to buy their tomatoes. During that period, tomato price in the state, the communities around the university, including the state capital, came down because it was bountiful harvest of tomato, which FUNAP, of course, they cannot consume this.
Exactly.
So they pushed it into the market and it brought down the price of tomato at that time. So I felt that I needed to see what they were doing. It was the desire to see what they were doing in terms of tomato farming that actually triggered my desire to do this story. I was in the school to present a paper, and after presenting the paper, I then said, look, let me move around. I'm a journalist, let me try and do a story. I'd done what brought me to the place. So after presenting my paper, I just said, can you take me to your farms? And I saw things for myself. If I needed to do a 2-hour documentary, I would do it conveniently because we didn't even touch on everything that I saw. It's not practical.
Exactly.
For example, some of the equipment that they have like even the combined harvester, their tractors and all that. I saw all of those, and I saw clearly through that if we fund the universities thoroughly, the Agric universities, we have them across our country, they should be able to help us improve in the area of food production, especially mechanized farming. And they have so much land to play with. It's in terms of land mass, it's one of the biggest universities in our country.
Yeah, 10,000.
Yes, University of Ilorin and other universities are so big too. So we need to do better in the area of agriculture. I always refer to what happened during the Awolowo era. All of those bridges, the cocoa house of this world, the housing estate, the investment that the Odua investment still has today, were from cash crops from the western region, cash crops and taxation. So what is our problem as a country? A country, if India can produce enough rice to feed its people, why can't Nigeria, a country that is inferior to India in land mass, in population, in almost everything, why can't we feed our people? Why should our people be dying because they want a 5 kg bag of rice? We should be producing a lot more, I believe.
Adewale Adeoye, in your opinion, do you think the government is investing enough in agriculture in this regard?
No, absolutely, we are not doing enough. You can see the capacity of this federal university, what they can do. If they have if they are working in a conducive environment. All over the world, the universities are research centers, for production of materials, food. In this case, the universities should be a research center for food and animal production, for allied related technological development. We are talking of all sorts of equipment that can be used in farms. These are places where they are supposed to be funded. And I'm sure if you go and look at the final year projects of the students that graduated from this school, you see a lot of design that they have done.
Exactly.
Foreign companies will come and take these reports, take it abroad, and turn them to commercial value. So there is no cooperation between our research centers, the universities, and the corporate world. In other countries, the centers, when they do this research, they give it, they patent, they have the right to patent, and they give it to corporate organizations who will mass produce them and also give them some money. That's why you see some universities in US, UK, they are richer than some states in Nigeria. Because you cannot replace the knowledge industry. It is the key to human development. So I believe the university is doing a lot, given the limited resources at its disposal. If we can encourage them, fund them, I believe they can resolve a lot of issues.
Okay.
Look at IIT at Ibadan. A lot of researches have been done in that that has been there since 1960s or so. A lot of producing species of cocoa, species of cassava, all sorts of things. So our university can do the same thing if given, the appropriate encouragement, and support.
Now we have FUNAB. We also have Federal University of Agriculture.
Yeah, there are so many of them. Yeah.
There's another one in Akure. You talked about. But all of these institutions, do you think they are contributing enough into improving agriculture in the country?
No, they are not doing enough. They are not funded enough.
They are not funded.
Okay, look at what FUNAB has done. I discovered that it now has partnership with some corporate concerns to produce birds, those broilers. Those broilers you saw in the land. So they say, okay, you will produce broilers for me. We'll come and pick these broilers, 1,000 birds per week. So the more they get those partnerships, the more they get to work. At the end of the day, the school will make some money. Those guys too, they will be happy that, they are helping us to produce. And so if it is, what's it called? If it is a big-time restaurant, it is sure of a steady supply.
Exactly, of chickens.
Of chicken, because they already got into a partnership with FUNAB to keep producing that for them. If they are funded sufficiently, for example, all of those things, some of those things that they showed us, fufu, gari,
palm wine,
even palm wine. They gave me a bottle of palm wine, and those things, they will be able to make more money. I believe that given the extensive land available to FUNAB, they should, in the area of crop farming, they can do a lot more.
So increasing budgetary allocation to education and agriculture will bring out the best.
Yes, focusing on extension farming. And they can also train a lot of tomorrow's farmers.
Exactly.
Including the old farmers who are still stuck
in the old way.
Yes, there's a lot of training that they can also give them. So the universities have to be, the Agric universities have to be re-energized to fulfill their mandate. Because in my view, yes, they are working within the limits of the resources that they are. Look at granite, for example. From one plant, look at what came out.
Yes.
Look at this is carrots. I never knew that we could grow carrots
in the West.
Yes. And it was very sweet. They went to wash them and brought them back to us.
Fresh.
Yes, very fresh. So we have arable land we've not cultivated even 10% of the arable land in our country.
Just the political will is
yes. It's just important that we focus on feeding our people and even get enough for export.
Exactly. Well, it's a fine place to leave it, gentlemen. Adewale Adue, thank you so much for joining us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Appreciate you. BK,
thank you.
As always, thank you very much. Thank you so much. And that's all on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Join us tomorrow for the regular episode of the program at 5 p.m. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11:30. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.